Welcome back, my legends, to a new season of quests. Now, these quests are a lot different than last season because this is actually in comic formation. So instead of getting text and people having to read, but I guess they realized that nobody likes reading, so they made it visually pleasing so people with Diary of a Wimpy Kid level reading could understand what's going on in the story. No offense. But the setback in doing comics is that it takes longer, so this could explain why we have a shortened season for quests instead of last time where it was a thing about 12, 13 counting the prologue. So yeah, so let's get into it because there's some hidden details I want to explain on what could be happening in the quest. So unlike last season when we were building the Broken Ghost, which turned out to be Ash and also a reference towards Revenant, for this quest it looks like we're going to build some kind of ship. But funny enough, Tom actually hinted towards this on Twitter, and the thing that was very interesting about it is that he said, oh yeah, it could be something that transported items over a distance or to support a romantic pairing between two fictional characters portrayed by fans. So interesting. So in a way, he's kind of hinting towards some kind of relationship being formed between two characters. Now, part 1 is called The Rolling Sevens in Love. Now, keep in mind this title because everything is gonna tie back in towards what this is saying. So let's begin. Now, in part 1, we see that Mirage is trying to flirt with Rampart, trying to tell her if Sheila is her name or the name of the gun. She tells him to quit while you're behind because she's not interested in him. But as you can see, the legends are walking out of the room. So what this tells me is that this happened right after the trailer when we were first introduced to Rampart. So they're still in the planet Solus, more specifically Mirage's bar, the Paradise Lodge. So what we're seeing are the events before they went to the planet Dalos, back to World's Edge. So they haven't gone there yet, so we might get an explanation why they went there and what's the deal with the rocket. Now in the next scene, we see that Rampart gives Mirage a check for the first month's rent, and Mirage is very confused saying what is this for, and then she tells him that, oh yeah, this is going to be my new shop, which by the way, they're trying to make a gun shop inside a bar, which is an amazing idea. I have no idea why nobody has come up with a bar that has guns inside. They're missing out on something big here, I'm telling you. So then Mirage asks who said you could, and then somebody says I did, which turns out to be Rafe. Now Mirage tried to play it out like, oh, can I see you in my office? And then Secretary Rafe said this is your office. But in all seriousness, Mirage was very confused because he was like, when are you my broker? Or you know, he tried to say real estate agent, but he couldn't. So then she said that, and this is the very interesting part, that ever since you begged for help and I saw your numbers, the Paradise Lodge needs the money. Now this little detail is very important because this lets us know that Mirage needs money desperately. Could it be because his mom's bills are becoming too expensive for him? Or maybe it's because Mirage may be a bad bar owner and like gives away free alcohol because if people just suck up to him, he's like, yeah, sure, you can have a free drink or two. Or maybe it's the big boat that he bought. Who knows? But point is that Mirage may be broke or in debt and he needs money desperately. Now, it's very interesting that Rafe knows this and that the fact that Mirage begged for her to give her money. So this tells you that things are very serious and she's trying to help him out any way she could. So this gives you an idea of how much Mirage trusts Rafe. The fact that he was willing to open up to this secret that he is desperate for money. So for all those Mirage Rafe shippers, there might be something going on here. So in the next panel, we see that Rampart saying that she's the answer to his problems. Mirage is conflicted about having a business partner in Rafe and a crazy mechanic roommate in Rampart. And then Rafe says that, oh, don't worry, you need both. You don't need just one, you need both of us. So then he's like, wait a minute, I'm an adult, I think. So they're going to put that to the test, Mr. Landlord. So in the next scene, we see that Rafe and Rampart are leaving Mirage's office, also known as Rampart's new shop. And this is where Rampart says that they're going to have good times together as roomies. And then she says, what's the real story? And this is where Rafe says that Wit has made choices. Now, I have an idea what these choices are made, but before we get into that, I have to explain the next scene because it was kind of confusing. So in this next scene, I think what happened is that Pathfinder overheard everything, and this is where Mirage saw Pathfinder, and he probably thought that Pathfinder was going to ask him that, hey, since they're moving in, can I move in too? And Mirage is like, no, you're not moving in, not over my Dub's dead body. Now the weird thing about this is that Pathfinder has that love symbol on his chest, which a lot of people were thinking that he was talking about Sheila, the gun, but honestly, honestly, that makes no sense because in the next panel, we see that Mirage is saying that, hey, you're just a robot, Pathfinder. You don't understand girls. And then Pathfinder says, I do, best friend, especially now that mine has moved in with me. Now, this is weird because we all assume that, you know, Pathfinder was talking about Rampart's gun. So who's he talking about? Is he talking about Ash? She's the only other robot that could move in with Pathfinder. So in the final scene, this random drunk guy says, hey, women, am I right? Can't live with them. And then I think this is a typo where it says, and I am. I think it's supposed to say, I am, like as in Pathfinder's like, oh wait, I am living with my girlfriend. My girlfriend is the best. High five. 10 men. Nice. And this is where Mirage was so confused when he says, you're what now? And part 2 is going to be called 6 Stitches. Now, if you ask me, it looks like the quests are not going to be part of the main story of Apex. It looks like this is going to be some kind of side quest. More specifically, it looks like the whole quest is going to revolve around Mirage, Rampart, and possibly Wraith and Pathfinder. So it looks like they're gonna get their own like mini series story. Although that could be me speculating at this point, but it feels like it. So what could be the reason that Mirage owes a lot of money? Now, remember at the beginning I said I was going to connect everything back to the title. It's called Rolling Sevens in Love. Rolling Sevens, that sounds like gambling. So to me, it sounds like Mirage got rid of his boat because he desperately needs money. So he probably has some kind of gambling debt that he has to pay off. And him not being a good bar owner, I can see him giving away free drinks just so people can like him. So all this plus his mom's medical bills, I think it's starting to add up where he desperately needs money, and Rafe is afraid that he might be blackmailed into doing something that he's not going to like just because he has to pay off his debt to a certain person. Maybe big sister. Maybe this is how they connect everything together. So yeah, so let me know if you actually enjoy this kind of content where I kind of give a deeper meaning to what everybody is saying, because if you don't have some background knowledge of what's going on in the story, it might be confusing. So yeah, so let me know about this and I'll see you all next time. Peace. Do you like buying Mozambique skins for $20? Of course not, because you're not an idiot. But you know what's not an overpriced ripoff? Being a supporter of my channel. Now, like most things in my life, I have no idea what I'm doing, but it's somehow working. So I created these Apex Legends badges. So if you want to support my work with a small price of McDonald's meal, now you can. And as always, thank you for your support, your financial support. Or you can make EA richer and buy that $20 Mozambique skin. You know, no pressure, nothing. It would just probably drop us a kid.